Public meetings are subject to being recorded. Your image and voice will be recorded. We're gonna call the meeting to order at 6:02. Do we have any minutes?
Yes, they are
Yes.
posted.
Okay,
Yep.
so all in favor of the minutes from which date?
It was the 27th of, no, that's today. They were July 20.
July 23rd.
Thank
Okay.
you. Yes.
So,
And Beth did a wonderful job doing them. Thank you, Beth.
Well, thank you for posting that.
No problem.
I was looking around going,
Yeah.
pressing buttons randomly going, oh, it took me like
You
10
have
minutes to
to-
be like, oh, I bet I don't have
You have to-
permission.
you have to log in.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I
So-
did, but it still didn't give me anything.
oh, weird. So
But-
you can log in to My Town Government?
I think so.
Like,
text
like
you that,
there's,
yeah.
I have an account which allows me, like, there may
Oh,
be,
but
I may
you
not
have
be
to have
using the right.
permissions
Yes, I need to have
for the
permissions
housing
to do,
trust.
permissions for the housing trust, yes.
All right. All in favor of the July 23rd, approving the July 23rd meetings?
Aye.
Aye.
Minutes. All right. Cool. Anything from ASPET Regional Consortium?
We did have a meeting last Tuesday. There was a guest speaker, Bethany, super duper smart and informative, like very informative, lots of information, very fast presentation. Like I could rewatch
Very
that
dense,
probably
yeah.
two more times, but I think it was a little above most of our, well, the mostly town planners in that group anyway, but I would have to review that, but mostly about taking small steps to get affordable housing through. And I did hear once again from a knowledgeable person that it's not always zoning but building restrictions that end up prohibiting the affordable end of it. So, and it was a lot about, it was actually focused on overlay districts and conflicts they can create, lots of conflicts with zoning, and some are permissive, some are restrictive. I will forward the presentation around to everyone. They did send it, and but basically to be careful of trying to promote affordable housing through overlay districts, because it is just that. It is an overlay, and a lot of times things conflict. When really, she said a lot of times the best thing to do is fix your broken zoning. You know, you can't just keep putting
It's good
makeup
advice.
on the pig
Yeah.
kind
Right.
of thing. You know, you have to resolve it, because then it just creates other conflicts and such. So it was in depth in that way. But basically, she said in the end, don't be afraid of little steps to get stuff done in a way that your community can participate, understand it, and it may go more smoothly. And it's better to get something done than nothing done. But again, she's dealing with a lot of the MBTA communities. So they have these plans that they must implement. So it was a lot of that. It was good. There was a fall forum coming up. I wrote it down somewhere. It's in my book. I'll let you know when that is. It is again in Devon's, and that's my son's old math homework. Spring forum. It is, not here.
This is a fall forum.
In Devon's,
They'll send something out.
yeah. So, I have that date, I'll get to you. It's not for a while, it's like November 9th or something, in the morning again. And that's about it for
Cool.
that. There was a meeting on, turning municipal properties into affordable housing, and I wanna look through that. She sent
When
around.
was that?
It's like last week or something,
Okay,
so.
cause that would be actually helpful.
I agree.
That would be helpful.
I agree.
A lot of the
And
stuff
like
is
it's
not, I mean, it's
relevant.
interesting but not relevant,
Yeah,
and that would be very, very relevant.
she sent that, where did that go? It's called Hope or something. And then I just got an email today about MHP public land, housing opportunity on public land, that's part of it. HOPL, Forgivable Land Program, provides technical feasibility assistance for identifying parcels on which affordable housing can be developed. Loan is up to $35,000 per project and is due after 5 years. Loan is forgiven if no housing development projects moves forward within 5 years due to site issues such as excessive remediation needs or environmental protection buffers. Municipalities can still apply even if site has been identified and funds have been expended. This also may apply to us as well. We might be able to get
Yeah.
some funding out of
Mhm.
this. And she said, don't be, maybe I opened up the actual thing, but it said, apply, basically, and see how it goes, because
Like a
right
lot of
now, they're
grants
not
just
being,
apply.
they're not, it's the beginning of the program, they have a bunch of funds, and they're not being as, picky or selective or whatever,
Okay.
have you? So, I plan to look more into that.
Alright, cool,
Yeah.
let us know.
That's good.
Okay, CPA?
CPA, we had our meeting on the 5th of August. The MOU, it has been approved. I don't know if anyone has talked to you about signing it.
Nope.
Okay, but that will happen. So
Okay.
everyone seemed quite happy to have
Yeah.
that taken care of. So that required no remediation. Do we want to discuss the other stuff related to that committee now, or do
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah,
put it
no,
down?
all of it goes CPA update, and then MOU is just sort of like, we have to talk about that, but anything
Yes.
for CPA
Anything for
updates.
CPA? I asked for an official statement of support for the build.
Mhm.
There was a very interesting meta discussion about whether or not it was appropriate for them to do that. And sort of a lot of time was spent on the idea that we all wear, we all have two hats, right? We have the hat of the committee we're representing, most of us have the hat of the committee we're representing. The at-large members, of course, are just the CPA committee, right? But the idea of those being two different hats, and it would be possible, my argument was it would be totally possible as a member of the Community Preservation Act committee, for the committee to decide this project aligned with the interests and their charter. And that doesn't say anything about whether or not historic votes, even if you're the member from historic. So that is still under discussion.
Okay.
And so, and we have plenty of time, right?
It's
And
a good thing for the committee to work through
yes,
regardless.
yes,
Because
it
this is not the last
time we're
this
going
is
to
going
ask
come
them
up.
that question. Yes.
And it also points to the fact that we are in that interesting sort of space because of how we operate.
Yeah, yeah.
They give tacit approval to other projects because they're
Yes.
very specific
So I
projects
don't think
at
it's
the
a
outset.
out of the question
I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
request.
Exactly.
Nope.
So that's under
But
discussion.
I find that,
Yeah, and you can imagine how that
Intriguing.
discussion went,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I
Those
think
meetings
we're
run a
gonna find
lot
that across
longer
the board,
than these
per
meetings
se.
do.
Yeah.
Nope.
And the project updates have been filed
Okay,
based,
awesome.
based on what we submitted last year, almost word for word.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's been taken care of, and that's
Forge forward.
that's
We're like, we are.
exactly, that's the CPA meeting.
Despite all the obstacles, we continue to forge forward.
Exactly.
Okay. Down payment assistant project, I reached out to them and they have been doing some initial research into other models and programs, but they don't have a deliverable yet to share. I didn't expect one, so this isn't shocking to me. They'll be setting up some calls with other communities and organizations that have implemented a program to understand best practices. For the September Housing Trust meeting, they will have something prepared for review and discussion. So I have a commitment that they will have something for next time. So Legion Hall, you wanna start with the perk stuff?
Yes, I returned the contract to Ross for the soil testing only. I just am hung up, they need a retainer.
They cannot have a retainer.
Okay. I will
Per
follow up
Mass
with-
General Law, they cannot have a retainer.
I read that in the email, but I just
Yeah.
got the contract back. I was waiting for a response on that. So
We could do something, I was looking a little closer before we came, we could do something called a mobilization, thing, but it would be like when they start and they're 10% in. And I mean, this all happens on a day, right?
So it's
not
So
9:30.
For
I
5
don't-
minutes in,
I
you
don't
have
know that
$5.
this is actually
Yeah.
helpful, but
I-
if they
I
have done
expected this,
any
so
work with municipalities, then they need to understand
sure.
what.
I'm sure.
'Cause
So
we literally
I
can't.
just really haven't heard back from him. I sent that
Yeah.
back last week, and
Okay.
I just, I'll follow up with him on that. So hopefully, beyond that, I'm pretty sure he should be comfortable on that. It's not like a $10,000 retainer. It's $500. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
probably the cost of the entire job, and he gets it. I'm sure. I'll follow up
Yeah.
and see. Then it'll be just a matter of them all coming together on a date,
Yeah,
and we'll go
and
from there.
we, the minute they're on board, we'll just hook him up with Fred.
Yep.
They can work themselves out.
Yep.
and-
Bill will give him a
So-
date essentially, and then we'll work with Fred and see if we can make sure they're available for that.
Perfect.
So fingers crossed.
Nice, we're getting there.
And what company is that again? Ross?
Ross Engineering.
Ross Engineering.
Okay.
On that note, our planning board meeting was somewhat similar to the
The
CPA.
Given that you have
A lo-
several of
some
crossover, it's
overlap.
not shocking that
The
that would be similar.
the attorney on the board
Mm.
said that it certainly seems to comply with the zoning and whatnot. It appears to be grandfathered, et cetera. So we got that far, and basically we just kept it simple because they said maybe once it's actually a warrant article, closer to the date, maybe when they hear some.
As long as
Some-
nothing better comes up in the meantime,
Yeah,
but do come back before town meeting.
Well,
So
yeah,
I
that's all
expect
right.
if we come back before town meeting, there's
So-
general favorable feelings.
little early, I guess, but
But we're
at least
not.
they know what's
We're not.
coming.
Yeah, wait, there's like two months before that. It's like we're not that.
We're not
So-
that early, but
But next time we'll be
it's
back,
the vibes.
hopefully with a perk and some more information, and
Yeah.
just let them know we're still working on it.
Yeah, because we'll have to go back probably in October, so
Mhm.
we need to,
And then also on that note, historical,
okay.
similar. Obviously, they have their reservations. They would like to keep it museum-like and maybe as a stop on a hiking trail with some written information outside that people can self-guide themselves on a tour. They were very patient in listening to us, and very excited about the historical preservation restriction. So, and June emailed me to that effect after that, although, they have their own reservations, they're very excited that we're adamant on that note.
Okay.
So that's something,
Yep.
I do believe.
Yeah. June in general has been very positive.
She
Yes.
has.
And
No, I
been very
think June
communicative,
supports the
and I
project
think
because I think she understands that historical already has a lot on their plate, and
And that was the tone, that they pretty much don't have a lot of resources to do all of the things they want, and everybody has that kind of story too. I know I do. But they'll, they would be happy, they're very pleased that we would certainly enforce or apply a historical restriction on it. So, in the meantime, on another side note of that,
Okay.
At that meeting, I kind of stressed that the best thing for an old building is to be
In
used.
use.
I mean, I need to get up and move every day. If I don't move every day, I get rusty.
Yeah.
My car needs to drive every day or it will not start. It is true. And it's a very well built building.
Yes, and
It can withstand,
it would be amazing to see it living and breathing.
and it
A family in it,
continues.
kids.
I think in that way it continues its history and its legacy. So
Mm-hmm.
on that note, I saw a YouTube of a couple who bought in Illinois, I believe, bought an old schoolhouse like this or
Okay.
bigger, and they restored it, and it's gorgeous. And that was kind of their take on it, is that this is a piece of history and it deserves to be used and carry on and not torn down or just raised. And they did a beautiful job. I have it
Oh,
somewhere.
Please send it.
I save things, I don't know where they go. I will share that. It just struck me as very relevant. So, and they did a beautiful job. But that was part of their thing is, I passed by the building for years and years and years, and
Watched it slowly deteriorate.
exactly. And then the city was going to sell it, and it was most likely going to be demolished because it was an extensive project, and they spent years and years and years restoring it or rehabilitating it. I'm not sure, they didn't actually restore it, but it was kind of cool. It's kind of my take on this anyway, so I like how it applied. Yeah, so
Cool.
that's the end of my rant.
All right. And Beth, do you want to do select board and COA?
So I went in front of the select board. They were, Lisa's a little sketch, but the other two seem really supportive. They agreed to actually be the ones who present that warrant article as their own, which is very exciting. And they are in favor of this and seem more willing to be more active this time in the town meeting forum. So that's super good. They're very interested to hear about the park.
Mhm.
I think as we all are. Already talked about the CPA. Council on Aging was yesterday.
Mm.
Jennifer and I went. That was lovely and fun, and they voted unanimously to support us. So we've got one. They did a really good job of talking through, we are not ready to have a senior center.
Mm.
Let's build the program. We are just really
Yeah.
starting now
Yeah.
with Melissa?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Yes, who is phenomenal.
Who, the list of activities, she has planned out. I'm just like, I want to sign up for them all. I gotta find out what the rules are. I'm almost 60. I should be able to go.
It's not 55 and up?
I don't know what the rules are. But in any case, they put some money into the space down here, to fix it up. And we got, the town got donated furniture
We
from a
did.
hotel.
If
So-
you notice, if you look,
So-
down in the space there's now some furniture in the hallway. If you look, the select board has furniture. The fire department is getting a lot of it. The library will get some, and it came from somebody who lives in town, works with a high-end luxury apartment place in Shrewsbury called Bell's Shrewsbury. And they are replacing all the stuff from their lobby and so we got all
So-
this amazing,
Yeah,
wonderful
yay.
furniture.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That the town could have never afforded.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like we have like grown up furniture
Great, we have
in
grown
the
up- we
select
totally
board
have- we
room
totally
and
have
stuff
grown
now.
up.
It's really cool.
So they are, you know, hoping to have that space painted when we have a new facilities person, right, and those sorts of things. So they are committed to that space, and are, several of them were very vocal in their support of
Sweet.
this as a great use for that. So,
Very nice.
yes. And did rec not meet?
Rec did not meet, so their next meeting is scheduled for September 11th, and I will follow up with Felicia again. I did not hear back from her, but I will follow up with her again about getting on the September 11th at 7:15 Recreation Committee meeting. And let y'all know. Is there anything else right now for Legion Hall? Anything we need to do for town meeting right now, or?
So where are we on Carolyn Reed's availability?
I need to follow up on that. That one slipped through the cracks. And you
19
had given
Carter.
me a date. So.
19 Carter is happy to host us, and they will not charge us. But obviously, they have a lot of stuff already in place, many weeknights. So we're looking at a Tuesday or a Thursday between October 22nd and November 8th, I think.
Yeah, and you had one of those dates that worked for you, so I
The
was gonna
21st
try to get
is
the
the only
21st,
day I
yeah.
will be here of all of those dates. We leave for Korea on the 22nd. so.
October 21st.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
So
Was,
I
Lisa was
I
aiming
will-
for October
yes, I will
21st.
do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Legion Hall had a sign, does it still have a sign out front, like on the building?
I think there's something on there.
I think there is, but I
I
couldn't confirm actually.
thought, at least, I drove by once, so I thought there was a sign. Does that sign have to stay?
That'll really be up to I mean, the original historic purpose of it is the schoolhouse. So
Okay.
my general thought would be no.
The
Okay,
Legion
I
Hall
just
sign
want-
doesn't stay.
Stay,
Yeah.
okay, I
that
just wanted
it's-
to, like,
Its history is in the fact that it was a one-room schoolhouse.
I think the Legion
came well after.
members might want that sign.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
More so than
like,
it being
know it's-
the historical
Yeah.
feature. The historical features of the building are the envelope, the roof, the windows, the doors,
Yeah.
the
I just
footprint. But good question.
in dealing with other historical societies, it's everything, right?
Yeah, but I
Ah,
yeah.
don't think, I think they were concerned, also historical, if I remember correctly, was concerned with the
It's
basic
the envelope and the
outside
roof
of the
are the
envelope.
things
It
I
wasn't,
think, yeah.
it wasn't about the sign.
Okay.
So I think we're
We
good.
did clarify at historical too. Lucy had not been at the other meeting.
Yes.
And she had a lot of questions, and part of it was, so she didn't have the benefit of Carolyn Reed in her presentation.
Mhm.
So she was actually the most vocal, and she, we were able to explain to her that we could choose the lottery, parameters, that we can ask that it be someone from Berlin, and we can ask that it be a veteran, so that was clarified, which
But it also,
actually means a lot, I
we
think.
need to be very clear that if nobody in those categories
Right.
comes forward, then
That
somebody
seemed to
still
be
gets
well
them all.
understood, but the
Okay.
fact that we would ask for those things first, that we would prioritize those people, seems to make a big difference, when I
Yeah.
talk to people about it.
Alright. That's everybody, right? I believe that's everybody that we had on the list to see.
Right, and finance still doesn't have a meeting posted, so.
Yeah.
And they will at
And
some
they,
point.
yeah, they won't for a little bit yet. So I sent you over sort of a last minute thing today, that just came in, and the testimony is actually happening on the 9th. So if we are going to address this and do this, we kind of need to make a decision tonight. It is basically, just offering written testimony in support of S1937 H3056. which is pending legislation that would allow municipalities to adopt a real estate transfer fund to support affordable housing. I am not entirely sure that we would ever use it here, but I think having the option for communities to adopt that, whether it be ours or others, is something that we probably want to support. So that is why I brought it here. And the request actually came from a housing trust in Concord, because they desperately
Boy.
need something like this.
Are we actually allowed to vote on it tonight, because it wasn't posted as a?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're fine.
As long as-
It's a now or never sort of thing, so
I didn't, okay,
we're fine.
fine, didn't know if technically we could call a special meeting just to do that, but if you're
Yeah,
comfortable with it,
and
just wanted to check.
I will
on
get it on the board meeting
Okay.
agenda if we pass it tonight, but I wanted to wait.
So
to
this,
do it.
right. S 1937. Does it have, I assume it has some statements about, like how much you can charge and all of that, like or just the existence?
That would probably be the community, but I mean, normally they're a little opaque and they change. This is something that would allow a community to adopt the legislation, so it would have to go through town meeting for anybody to adopt it.
But this would set up the framework,
This would set up
allowing
the
you to
framework,
adopt.
allowing us to adopt the Mass General Law like we do with a variety of things. If it passed the legislature, which
Okay,
Things take
specifically
time.
to fund affordable housing, referred to the Committee on
Revenue.
Bill history, view text. Oh, it's actually an amendment. And that money would come to us.
like I said, it's
Who's it
simply,
paid by?
it's a real estate transfer fee, so it would be a fee that could be
Paid by the seller.
Negotiated.
paid by the seller to,
Transfer of real property interest between a seller and a buyer.
so the town would probably adopt a small percentage.
Between 0.5% and not more than 2%.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's,
There are, either for the full purchase price or, the portion of the purchase price in excess of an exemption threshold. At the discretion of the city, town, or regional affordable housing commission as
It just-
applicable. So we have a lot,
it sets up-
it gives
it
a
sets
lot
up
of
the framework.
flexibility, right, yeah. Oh, the town would actually have the authority to designate whether the transfer fee shall be borne by the purchaser or the seller, or be allocated between the two. So, yeah, huge amount of flexibility. And the
Yeah.
timing, also the timing around that is also flexible. Yep. Upon receipt of the transfer fee, the treasurer of the city or town shall deposit the transfer fee in the housing trust fund. That's written in here.
But I'm also gonna once again state that we are not adopting this tonight.
Right.
This
Yeah,
is not
this
about
is-
adopting this.
Right.
This is about supporting legislation that promotes affordable housing and allows for communities to choose to do this, to support affordable housing if they,
I just wonder how this plays with, remember the seminar we went to and what actually they see creating affordable housing is shifting of, the aging out people sell the bigger house, the families move into that, the aging out people move into the smaller homes. If that is a hamper on sales.
I don't think there are any hampers on sales right now.
True, but
And I also just, once again, I would say, this goes to the Affordable Housing Trust, so the Affordable Housing Trust role is to create affordable housing. So it gives them a funding source should their community need it. Like I said, I don't think Berlin right now, I wouldn't probably recommend this for Berlin right now.
Yeah.
But I think giving other communities the tools also helps us.
There are exemptions on affordable units.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
That would defeat the purpose.
Just in here, right?
That's good,
You know.
yeah.
That would
And then
defeat
there
the
are a
purpose.
whole bunch of things, transfers to first-time home buyers, people who are eligible for the senior circuit breaker tax credits, right, so there's a huge amount of, this actually looks, this actually seems,
There's a lot of amazing legislation out there. It just doesn't pass.
well, right,
So, yeah,
right,
I
yeah,
know.
but this, yeah.
Anybody else? Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to support, to
To
send
send
a
this
letter
letter?
of support for the transfer fee and the legislation for the transfer fee.
Like I said, I am gonna put this in front of the board. If the board chooses not to, I would send it just under us.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye. Cool.
And does anybody have anything else to share? Okay, our next meeting is on September 25th. I would take a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Whatever you need from us, you got it.
All right. Look at that. We were very efficient tonight.
Feeling very efficient, exactly. Alright, our next meeting is September,
25th.
Fourth?
no, let's try again. The 4th? Is my calendar like totally booked?
Next meeting, September 25th. I have it written right here.
On Thursday?
Whoa, that's
Let me look.
That's,
September 20,
it's gotta be September 24th.
Where the heck did I get that from? I hallucinated it. Cause I
You and
could've
ChatGPT?
sworn- Oh, it was last year. Last year was September 25th. That must have been what I saw. I saw it. I'm like, oh, yes, I'll put that on.
okay, cool.
So it would actually be. The 24th. Close. Close. All right.
Good to have that confirmed before it gets
Yeah,
posted
yeah, yeah.
somewhere.
Well, it comes up.
Yes, okay, cool.
So, working in Carlisle. Carlisle is.
Meeting adjourned.
Sorry, I didn't hear it, so.
Oh, we sort of fumbled the motion to adjourn.
Working in Carlisle. They are one of the towns that are affected by the MBTA.